What is going on with Buffalo Trace? They released a third stag in 23, and it's also their lowest proof stag ever. Is it going to be any good? Let's find out. Welcome back to another episode of Neat Bourbon. My name's Tanner, and today we are talking stag, formerly known as Stagg Jr. Now, we've got the 23C on the bar. I was able to pick this up a couple weeks ago. I got it at a Virginia ABC drop. Paid, I think it's now $56 here in Virginia. I did have to stay out in line all night to get it for that price, but regardless, so happy to have this bottle on my bar. I know Stagg is a favorite for most of y'all out there, and if you're really looking for one of these, it's going to be the lowest proof, that they've released. So is this one that you need to be hunting and tracking down? Now, figure that one out today, but I have, gone through a fair amount of this bottle already, because anytime I have a new Stagg open on the bar, everybody wants to try it. So really hard to keep the cork in this one. So just a little bit of background, Stagg, it's the mash bill 1, so it is the low rye mash bill, and these are rumored to be around that 8 to 9 year mark. I do have a Stagg store pick back there that's just a little over 9 years. I would imagine, that the normal batches are coming in at anyways. So, I've already got this bottle poured up here, and just going to be doing a little comparison later. I do have the 22B as well, so going to be able to see, is it different? Is it better? Are there any differences at all? Anyways, off to the nose. Ooh, man. Yeah. I mean, that is just that very reminiscent of Buffalo Trace, Man, it's just so sweet there on the nose. That was, yeah. I mean, just so much cherry is coming off of that. A lot of caramel there. Man, that's just deep, dense, thick caramel, just covered in cherries. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of everything that you really want to get. There's a decent amount of vanilla in there, too. Not really picking up, much oak there. That's not something that, I normally get on these. Yeah, it's just a very bright, sweet cherry forward profile there coming across the nose. Anyways, let's off to the palate. Cheers. Man. Wow, I'm getting a decent amount of chocolate on that. This is just my chocolate day, I guess. Wow. Man, so that is just rich cherry. I feel I've on other batches I've been having recently, they're a lot more caramel vanilla heavy on the palate, and that robust cherry pop that just kind of just stays with you the whole way. I feel that reminds me back of the batch that the 15-16s, back when I had those on my bar. That to me, this is a really strong pour in terms of the flavor profile. Yeah. I mean, that's just all cherry Luxardo syrup there. That is just very sweet all the way through. You're getting a decent hug. It is 125 proof, so it's not going to blow your socks off or anything, but it's enough proof to let you know that there's a lot of flavor coming your way, and this definitely delivers on it. You're not really getting any ethanol, so it's incredible how smooth these bottles are. So I mean, yeah, and you're getting also it tastes a great amount of caramel there on the palate too. This doesn't, the Staggs to me just are never a wildly complex bottle. They're just really sweet. I got a lot of caramel on this. This one is killing it with that cherry going all the way through, and I'm getting a lot of dark chocolate there on the finish. It's not really an oaky finish, but it's that velvety, dark chocolate, a dark chocolate syrup. So if you could have one of those chocolate fountains, fill it with dark chocolate, that's kind of that's essentially what the finish is for me right now. Let's go in for one more. Man, that's just so sweet. I don't know, this is right up my alley, I think, for just calling back to like those older stag batches that like I love so much. So like to me, like I think that like, you know, this is a spectacular batch of stag. I mean, and I'm saying there's like ever like a bad batch of stag, but I would say that like for me and the like the batches that I've had, I think this is definitely one of the better ones. And we're gonna put that, you know, opinion to the test here, because here I've got 22B poured up. It's been sitting out for a good amount of time. Now, you know, MSRP on these things are around like $56. Again, going to be incredibly rare to be able to. You'll probably never find one on the shelf for that these days. In terms of secondary price, like, you know, so they kind of like start at like $99, but again, you never find one on the shelf for that. I have been able to buy a few at that price point, but it seems to be like 90 or like $199. You know, online seems to be like kind of like the going rate. You know, for these, I know that they can go up to around like that 400, you know, price point, but I feel like secondary values on these bottles like are coming down. You know, I mean, for a cash strength, you know, Buffalo Trace product at $199, yeah, I mean, it's nobody likes spending that price, but like it's getting closer to like, you know, a reasonable like secondary price. I think if you get down to like the mid hundreds, I think, you know, that, you know, it's worth reaching for, to spend in that mid hundreds to have your first one, like definitely. So I mean, everyone's got different budget. I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money, but here, let's go on to the 22B. This one is coming in at 130 proof. So again, mash for one, low rye. Cheers. Yeah, wow, that is definitely different. Wow, yeah, this is not nearly as sweet. Although this is, you know, about, you know, what, 4.1 proof points higher than this guy over here. This one came off a lot more robust there on the palate. This 22B to me is a lot spicier, a more like peppery spice, and there's more caramel. It goes more caramel vanilla there. There's a lot more vanilla on the mid palate, a lot of caramel up front, and it's just like hints of berries. There is like that, you know, like when I'm going for a stag or like a Buffalo Trace product, like I'm usually going for like that really sweet cherry profile, and this 23C is just kind of like calling my name. Let's go in for one more to see if I can't find more of that sweetness. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I mean, it's there a little bit, and I'm getting that chocolate as well. Very similar to like how I was getting like that dark chocolate finish. I'm getting a little bit of that chocolate there. Not quite as much as I was getting on the 23C. I'm getting a little bit of black pepper there, you know, which is still really good, but just tastes like a little bit different. You know, it's just really like thick, rich caramel there. I mean, it's still an amazing pour. And like, I'm super stoked to have this bottle in my bar, but I would give the nod to this 23C. I'm going to go in for one quick. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that cherry Luxardo syrup is so thick on this 23C. And it's just got like a little bit of caramel, where this one is just a caramel monster, which is still fantastic. But to me, the notes that I'm getting on this 23C are everything that I look for when I go for a stag. You know, if I have the opportunity to find a backup of one of these, I most certainly would, because this 23C is singing my praises. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you had, would you please leave me a comment down below? You know, have you done the 23C versus 22B? Are you a fan of the 23C? Are there other batches that you think absolutely crush this 23C? Just let me know in the comments down below. I love hearing from you guys from each and every video. Yeah, as always, my name's Tanner. This is Neat Bourbon. And pop the bottles and share the pours. And we'll see you in the next one.